All right, guys, I'm not making this video to scare you. My goal here is just to get you in the right mindset because we will see a pullback in Bitcoin. This is a very volatile asset. Yes, we made history. It's above 20K, and you guys should definitely celebrate that. But we need to be in the right state of mind, okay? We need to anticipate what's going on in the market so we can see opportunities as they present themselves. So in this video, I'm going to be presenting you guys a situation where Bitcoin could potentially lose anywhere from 20 to 40%, depending on how bad it is. And I'm going to show you evidence of that. So keep watching. Alex here, quick update, quick announcement. Guys, I have a new community number. So I got a second phone. You could directly text me. I'm answering all questions. My new phone number is 954-758-5473. Again, that's 954-758-5473. I'm answering all comments. Go ahead and text me now. Let's have a conversation. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. This is going to be a quick update for you guys. Bitcoin, again, is doing very well. We're going to be highlighting what it could potentially do in the future. Can it fall? Can it keep rising? I'm going to go over all the, specific details and the charting, all that, et cetera, et cetera. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, my name is Alex. I talk about cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship, anything about money. I'm probably talking about it because I like money, and so do you. So do us both a favor, hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell so you get videos like this all the time. Some of it's time sensitive, like this one here. So if we jump into the screen, you can see that we're having all of this, Bitcoin news. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pull up like reports, of institutional investors. Everybody should know right now the major rally in Bitcoin is actually pretty strong because it's institutional guys. They're not trying to sell and make 10% profit. They're buying Bitcoin to make, they're trying to double, triple their money, 5x their money. So I don't think institutions are going to necessarily sell, but Bitcoin it's going to manipulate the market for sure. Like there's going to be people that manipulate it always. So all this positive Bitcoin news, we have to see a pullback, right? Sooner or later. We have, grants from Mass Mutual. You guys know of MicroStrategy. They're basically like the mascot of Bitcoin right now. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. You guys know that there's institutional investors coming in and you can do your own research and look into it for yourself, right? We're literally, all of them are coming out the woodworks. I'm talking about PayPal, Cash App, everybody with large amounts of capital for some reason is flocking to Bitcoin. But the one thing you have to understand is that right now, Bitcoin is not getting too much retail adoption. So retail adoption is like people like me and you, people that buy Bitcoin a little bit late most of the time. And they're usually kind of stuck holding the bag. So this will also cause a big influx. But we see here from the Google search term that there's really no retail adoption right now. Let me go to the past 5 years. We're not seeing it grow. So we're not seeing that wave just yet, which is a good and a bad thing, which basically means that we'll probably see a short-term pullback. But in the long run, when the retail adoption comes in, it's obviously going to surge the price of Bitcoin, right? We have other things like, Coinbase IPO coming out. Everybody's trying to capitalize on the fact that Bitcoin's above 20K. All these institutional guys are coming out saying they're right. And one more thing I actually caught in my Facebook group from the Fundamental Secrets. As you guys can see here, Bitcoin for a select, very quick time on Wednesday, 16th of December. You can see Bitcoin was trending, right? And this is probably because of, the all-time high. And then the stimulus checks right after. So that's really, I thought that was interesting. But the point I'm trying to make across here is that retail adoption will come, okay? It will come eventually. Don't get too scared if we see a small pullback, but we're gonna see it. Now, a couple other things I wanted to show you guys. I saw this, it was pretty interesting. So this is kind of two situations that could potentially play out, right? So the first one is we can get a pullback to like 21,000 and then keep going, right? That's why we never short Bitcoin. I'm not telling you guys to sell your Bitcoin and try to buy it back, at a cheaper price. That's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Bitcoin could just go to 30,000 from here. I could be completely wrong about everything I say in this video. And you want to position yourself to be right. So what the most important thing to do is to have capital on the sidelines so that when it does dip, you can buy the dip again. You want to use dollar cost average. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Don't come over here saying that you sold your Bitcoin and then miss out on a big parabolic upswing. Because as you can see here, Bitcoin's just been doing extremely well. Like never bet against a parabolic upswing, guys. Just don't bet against it. It's a bad bet, right? Especially with the best producing asset in the past decade, right? It's just not a good bet. But we have to look at this in a realistic perspective. So what I did here, this is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. It's basically the biggest, it's the most information about Bitcoin all the way back. You won't see this on regular charts, but you'll see it all the way back, to even August 2010. Bitcoin was created in 2008. So they basically aggregated all the data so it can give us like a long-term perspective of what Bitcoin did. So the first indicator I put is the SMA, and then we have the EMA, which is the exponential moving average. I put this on the 21 week here. Now, the reason I put it is because we want to look and see the times where Bitcoin is above it and how long it was above these two lines. As you can see, it follows Bitcoin's price pretty good. So we can go into the history of Bitcoin and see how long each of them, and I did it for you, don't worry about that. How long, and let's just go over it really quick so you guys can see it. How many days was it above these two lines? Like, for example, this is like as far back as I went. You don't want to go too far back because the price here is not as relevant, but I went back pretty far, guys. As you can see here, I picked the candlestick that's completely above the line, right? Completely above the line, all the way to where it touches these lines. And I literally went back to the history of Bitcoin. You can do this yourself, and I highly recommend you do that. And I went to every single time Bitcoin was above these two moving averages in the history of Bitcoin, every single time. And I got this right here. So this right here shows every single time how many days it was above those two moving averages. And then we have the mean, median, and mode. I'm not going to explain the definition behind those. You guys can Google search it for yourself. But the important part to put here is I'm looking at the mean and the median. So if we average these out, you can see that Bitcoin was only above these two lines 88 days or 80 days. So let's look at it in the middle. Maybe like, for example, I don't know, 85 days. It doesn't really matter that much. And then if we look at where we're at now, right? Let's look at Bitcoin now. You can see that Bitcoin has been above this line for officially 77 days. So we're getting to the average right now. And what that basically means is that we're going to see a pullback, guys. We're definitely going to see a pullback. So if I zoom in here, just so I could show you guys a little bit better, you can see that this candlestick looks really strong. We have to see a pullback because these 20% pullbacks are actually really healthy for Bitcoin, right? So it's not always necessarily the end of the world. But there's a couple situations to where we could pull back a significant amount. So right here, we could pull back to this trend line. It's only a 13% drop. But what's more likely going to happen is we're going to see these moving averages kind of like do something like this maybe. This is just a guess. We're going to see it like kind of, keep going. And we can see a more significant pullback. So if I pull this here, from where we're at now, we could definitely see a 32 or even more than that, maybe a 35 or 40% decrease in Bitcoin. Again, it's not the end of the world. We're definitely going to see, retail and more institutions. Not all institutions have got in yet. They're all kind of following their friends. But we're going to see more people bring this price back, and it'll be very healthy for it to do that. But this is just a couple situations. Maybe we'll see something like it just kind of only pull back to here and keep going. That's why you never bet against Bitcoin. Maybe we see it come back to only here, and that would be a smaller pullback, right? It would be only like a 17% pullback. What's more likely, though, is we'll probably see somewhere in the middle, right? We'll see it probably, pull back to somewhere around here. And this could happen, for the next month, even into 2021. So we're talking about maybe a 30% pullback, and I would say a month to 2 months time frame. But remember, you never want to short this. You never want to bet against this. But what you could do is when it does pull back, and we'll probably make the call on this YouTube channel, is you want to either leverage up here. You can make a leverage position. I don't do that specifically because it's too volatile. But you could do something like, dollar cost average, start buying some more here. So buy some here. I know these are very bad drawings, but bear with me here. And then we'll see it go into the future. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you like the exact buy points on a different perspective. So right here, what we're basically looking at is the Fibonacci retracements. And this is a good indicator for people to buy. Now, usually I don't go straight to the line. I buy a little bit, earlier. So the first one would be probably not here. I'll probably buy the first, position. I'll make the first position right around here, which is around $21 million. It'll be a very small position, dollar cost average in. I'll probably buy a little bit of Bitcoin. Then when it makes a move down, I'll look for this line right here because of the Fibonacci retracement, as well as the fact that it's kind of resistance here. As you can see here, it bounced off this line. So if resistance turns into support, that's extremely bullish for Bitcoin, and that's what we're looking for. So if it does turn to support right here, we're off. We're gone. We're going up to here. We're going up to like 38K, right? But if it doesn't, it keeps falling back, then this would be the next buying point, which is a little bit above, I would say 16,500 would be a good buying point. And then here, which is like about a little bit, I would say 14,000 would be the best buying point there. And if we keep going down, I mean, obviously it's going to get crazy. But I would still buy even all the way down to $8,000. We probably won't hit these two, but if we did, I would probably go very, very heavy on these points right here because, guys, there could be scares. Look at this scare right here. And historically, in the last bull run, there was scares like that. Look at that. It's like a 50% drop. That's very scary. It's unlikely that we'll see like a 50% drop, but every single time, up until that point, I mean, it was more than 50%, but up until that point, I mean, we got it all back, guys. At this point right here, I went hard. I actually bought a lot of Bitcoin. This was March's flash crash. It's actually more than 50%. It's a big loss. It's like, yeah, we're looking at like 60% loss. But this is where you make the most money, right? Because right there, if you bought Bitcoin, that's a $4,000 Bitcoin. Right now, we're at 20K. That's a 5X. right? So it's all about predicting the upswings, not the down calls. You want to know, generally where it's going to go if it does go down and plan accordingly. But you want to buy when it's down, not when it's, you don't want to sell when it's up. That's just my permanent stance on cryptocurrency, just because 99% of the time we're in profit. Like, it's just a parabolic upswing, asymmetrical market. We're going to see the market grow in general. So usually you don't want to bet against that. But the main points I'm trying to get across here is that you want to make sure that we get that pullback because it's healthy. And when we do, you want to make sure that you have some position. So you could put some limited orders in Coinbase or something like that to make sure you're ahead of the curve. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with this technology, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.